We are here at the Discovery Park of America in Union City, Tennessee, for the 2024 Military Expo. Come along with us as we discover the history of the most recent wars, military actions, and conflicts of the United States of America. The M8 Greyhound. M8 Greyhound light armored cars were used by the U.S. for both reconnaissance and combat missions during World War II. These six-wheeled vehicles are armed with two machine guns and a cannon. Its wheels made it slightly less practical in off-road conditions than Caterpillar tracked vehicles. It reached its top speed of 55 miles per hour. Navigation watch. Air crews use stopwatches like this one to measure their ground speed and to determine the amount of time it took for bombs they dropped to hit their targets. Submarine crews also use these stopwatches to time how long it took for their torpedoes to impact the enemy ships. M3 Scout Car. The M3 Scout Car was one of the most versatile vehicles of World War II. This armored vehicle served as everything from a personal carrier to a gun tow to an ambulance. The M3 was primarily used for reconnaissance, but was still well protected by armor. Each M3 was armed with two machine guns. Okay, these I can't get to currently because of the way the stage is set up. But you can see this is the Bofors anti-aircraft gun, the 57 millimeter anti-tank gun, the mountain gun. Let's go over here to the other side. That is the howitzer anti-tank gun. The Korean War, 1950-1953. Weapons progression. Throughout history, the drive has been to produce guns that weigh less, fire more bullets, hit targets more accurately, survive in various conditions, and are adaptable to most any need and skill level. Guns developed for modern conflicts were no exception to this trend. The case in front of you presents a close look at some of the changes in the weapons technology since the end of World War II. The M2 rifle. Most of the weapons used in the Korea War were leftovers from World War II. Even so, the military sought out ways to improve and adapt the weapons for new war. One of the most noticeable changes was the modification of the M1 carbines. The new fully automatic version of these guns, known as the M2s, became standard issue in the conflict. U.S. uniforms. This uniform belonged to R.C. Forrester of Union City, Tennessee. Mr. Forrester served in the military from 1953 to 1955. Stationed in the United States, Forrester served during the Korean War, often called the Forgotten War. Following his stint in the Army, Forrester did his part to honor the service of his fellow veterans by serving as an official O'Brien County historian. Ferret armored car. For about 30 years following the end of World War II, the British called the Ferret armored cars in their combat operations. These cars were small, fast, maneuverable, and able to be operated by just two people. The M1 mortars, the American M1 mortars, were used in the front lines in World War II to fire into the trenches or over low obstacles. These could fire up to 18 high explosive shells per minute, but were also used to fire smoke rounds to disguise troop movements. And that is the M1 mortar right there. The M37 cargo truck. The Dodge M37 was introduced in 1952 as a replacement for the weapons carrier WC series Dodge trucks of World War II. It was originally designed as a multi-purpose vehicle capable of transporting heavy loads of ammunition and was used extensively in both Korean and Vietnam conflicts. The M37 was replaced in the 1960s by the Kaiser Jeep M715. But due to the unpopularity of the M715, many M37s stayed in the service until late 1970s. It was considered to be one of the toughest and most reliable trucks ever built for the military. The Vietnam War, 1955 to 1975. The M16A1 rifle. The first troops in Vietnam that were issued the M14 rifles. The long barrels and wooden stocks made the M14 unsuitable for cramped, hot, and humid conditions of jungle warfare. Soon, troops were issued M16s instead. The M16s featured many improvements. They were made entirely of metal and plastic, which made them lighter and guarded against the humidity of the jungle. They could be assembled and disassembled quickly and without tools which made maintenance simple. The guns were also simple caliber bullets, previous models, which enabled soldiers to carry more ammunition. The M16A1 remained in widespread service throughout much of the 1980s, when it was replaced by the M16A2.
Vietnam and Cold War weapons, Scorpion light tank. The British used these light tanks from 1972 through the early 1990s. Scorpions are lighter and faster than vehicles that came before them, including the Ferret on display in this gallery. Scorpions are relatively high off the ground and have a narrower frame than some tanks. This made them more maneuverable and versatile. Number one is the Belgian model F101 Scorpion tank, which is this. And it says number two is the model Russian M121 helicopter replica used by the U.S. Army at Fort Campbell. And I'm going to guess that's what that is. Even though it says Marines on it.
We would like to thank the Discovery Park of America in Union City for their hospitality during the 2024 Military Expo. Please be sure when you're in the area to stop in and catch a glimpse of our nation's history. We thank you for supporting Kentucky, Tennessee Living as we are discovering the mysteries that are hidden within our history.